Hey everyone, I am Mulbre of the Mulberry Pack and welcome to Wolvden. Today is going to be really exciting because it is time to pick who will be the next leader of the Mulberry Pack. Our current leader, Cal Safar, is about to retire soon, so it is time to coordinate the next leader. As well as we're going to do a quick haul video of the last two events. I did get quite a few things and I'm really excited to share that, as well as just some general perusal through my dens. But first, today's featured wolf is Lavender, owned by Candy Kids, and they're a very beautiful wolf here. I'm always a big fan of the pastel colors, and they have some very nice decor from this current month, but it will be this last month when the video goes live for the Matchmakers event. But they're a lavender base with some very nice marks going on here. I like the whitetail spots in slot 10. I'm always a sucker for whitetail in slot 10, but they're very beautiful. So thank you, Candy, for allowing me to feature one of your wolves at the start of my video. And if anybody else wants to feature a wolf, be sure to message me on Wolvden. My number is 163020, because unfortunately YouTube doesn't allow for links in the comment section. But let's get rolling. So, the new leader, the new alpha, the new pack father, pack mother, pack what have you. So I did have a few in line already. However, I have had a very special puppy born this last week, and they are throwing a wrench in all of my plans. And that is this little puppy right here. And if you look at the eyes, you can see why they might be throwing a wrench in some of my plans. They are the very first hetero bioluminescent teal and blue on the site. Things could have changed by now, but when they were born, they were the first. I can look to see if they're still the only, but oh my gosh, there is another one. Okay, so there's two on the site now. Let me drag this up a little bit so you guys can see there. But yeah, there's two on the site now. Okay, very nice. I did see a lot of like the bio blue and the bio teal in the enclave, so I could tell that somebody had been breeding for them. But that's really cool that there's two of them on the site now. I'll still wave my little flag of I was first. But they were actually a fun one, because if we look at their mother here, so I had exactly one breeding, and the very first litter only had two puppies, and one of them was the bio. This is their sibling here. They got just the bio blue, which I think they're still fun. I like the word points. I think they're adorable. But this is their father. Their father is an NBW that I found, and I was like, I found him and I was like, oh my gosh, he's got bio teal. I already have a wolf that's bio blue. I could pair them and try for hetero eyes. And of course, their very first litter gave me the hetero eyes, which was like, yes. But it is unfortunately not the hetero eyes I've been trying for. Because down here I have that den that's specifically dedicated to hetero Sapphire and Lux. Which, oh, Frozen Beauty's gone into heat. Yeah, both Catalyst and Frozen Beauty have Lux eyes. And so they need a Sapphire stud, but my go-to Sapphire stud is currently on a hiatus. I'll have to find them a boyfriend. I'll have to find them a baby daddy. Because they're G1, so I would like for a G1. Anyways, back to topic. I could make this puppy my next lead, which would then give me sort of a shoe-in for turning them into a stud, because then I could start raising up their stats. I could get them, they would grow up. The only problem is that would then slot them in for my next stud and totally mess up all of my stud plan, because I do actually have some studs in the freezer. So I have Winter Roses currently hanging out in the freezer, and I really want to bring him back as a stud. I'm just not ready for him to be a stud yet, because my current stud, I want to get a few more breedings out of my current stud. I want to wait the 30 days so I'm not having to spend 50 gold to get rid of him. But then that leaves Borealis. Now, he was already my planned stud to be. He was already planned for that. Okay, in 12 days, I can get rid of my current stud for 20 gold. I could move him out. Hopefully I'll have enough to just enough babies to justify removing him, just so I could get Borealis up, because Borealis, he is a Gen 1 melanism carrier. He has Saros eyes and he's got patches pointed. So I really wanted to get that patches pointed as well as that melanism into my dens. He is 5 years old. 6 years. He's going to be 6 years old. So if I make him my lead, I'll be able to keep him up to 8 years. But that's really not a very long time. Which then takes us to our next option, which is Snowberry. So she is the highest stat daughter of my previous lead, Islena. So Islena was my very first wolf. She was my very first starter wolf. And this is one of her direct descendants. And she's got the highest stats of all of her direct descendants. So we look at her family here. Yeah, Eclipse Walker is her daddy. And then there's her mother, Islena. She's the wolf. She's my avatar. She's me. She's who's talking. That's her there. But her daughter didn't get her eyes, which is Missouri Monster. But she is the highest. Now she does have sisters. That's why this den is called Mother's Daughters, is because they are the direct descendants of my lead. And she has 1538. The reason I'm not considering these other three is because they're Gen 6, and I'm trying to keep my generations sort of even with where my leads generations would be at. So my very first was Gen 1, her daughters are Gen 2, so I want a Gen 2 leader. Which is why Snowberry is the one I'm considering. I do have younger daughters, so Halo, Evangeline, Beloved, and Justice. One of them is the Patches Pointed with the Missouri Monster, which is really cool. So Evangeline could potentially be in the running for being my next leader, because she does have the most traits that I am looking for. Double check that, yes, she is Gen 2. But she has low stats. She is only level 15, so that could change with getting those missing 5 levels. So she is an option. However, then I miss out on having Borealis as a stud. So I think Calcifar has 9 rollovers left. The Bypass has 12, which would be an additional 3 rollovers. So 12 rollovers is 6 months. That would put him at 6 years, 6 months. So he would still be viable for breeding at that point. And I would still have quite a bit with him. The only problem is we have another month-long event coming up, and it'll be my very first time doing that particular month-long event. I do not know what it is called. I think it's gardening themed. It's the one with Abeline, I do believe. This girl. It's the event that has this girl. And she talks about gardening a lot. So I think it's a gardening. I don't know anything more beyond that, but also totally off topic. But does she have the Karaka-chan mutation? She looks like she has the Karaka-chan mutation. Because I was looking at her and I'm like, that's not white Irish. That's not the white neck. I'm like, I think this girl had Karaka-chan before Karaka-chan became a thing. Because if you look at her skin and her nose, it's pink over where the white is. And if you look at her eyes aren't pink, which means she doesn't have pink skin. And I know she could have pink nose, which is separate. But her lips change color. And this back part of her lip is the same color as her eye, the skin around her eyes. But then the front of her lips are, I don't know. Anyways, off topic. I was just like, I think she predicted the future. Alright, so this was an option. Snowberry is the highest stat, so she would be like the best for breeding. Evangeline has the Patches Pointed and Missouri Monster that I really want. Borealis was already designated as the next stud, but he does not further my shark breeding project. I think those were really the big options. There are some other cool ones, like I have Kane. He's pretty neat. He's got some good stats. Now I do need to level him up. Why aren't you leveling up? Because you don't have a job. The only reason he's not in the running is because Neuwern is his mother, and Neuwern is not actually related to my lead. Neuwern, show you here, she's a daughter of Eclipse Walker. However, her mother is Colors of Ice. This is her mother. And she's very beautiful. Her mother was so beautiful. And so I think she's very pretty. She's given me some really great puppies. Actually, a bunch of her puppies I just sent to be frozen for a month. So I will have those for a little while longer. Yeah, there's not really any. Now, I could still have Borealis as a stud, just not as a leader. The only thing was I wanted him as a lead so I could power level him. So I could have him as a stud. I could set Evangeline as a leader, power level her up to make up for Borealis's low stats, set Borealis as stud, and try for some Missouri monster with patches pointed. And even though Snowberry is the eldest with the highest stats, I think that might be the play. I think that might be the play here. But, you know, feel free to leave your own contemplations down in the comment section. Tell me, who do you guys think? Because I still have a few days to decide. So I believe because you had 9 days, so next weekend, when I record the next video, it will be the actual day of coronation when we have to do the swap out. So until then, we have an entire week to sit here and stare at these things and and decide. But I think my hetero bio eyes are not going to be, they're not going to be the next. They could potentially be stud at some point, like maybe when Borealis dies, I could make them a stud. I do want to bring back Borealis's brother. I do want to bring back the goth boy. So I could do Evangeline as lead, make Evangeline lead, stud Borealis. After Borealis dies, bring back Winter Roses. Then by the time Winter passes on, this baby will be older. So then at that point, I can decide either to stud this baby or bring back a shark. I think that's going to be the plan for now. That is going to be the plan for now. Awesome. Yeah, I'm up to 28 opal salt licks. But I guess that leads us to the next thing, since we've now decided on a current plan, which could still be up for debate, but for now, that the plan has been set in stone. Let's look over my haul. Let's see what I got from these last two events. So the matchmakers and the lunar event that we just had. Now, this last lunar event was a big one. It was a real life lunar event. So they brought back, I believe, everything, if not almost everything. But for the matchmakers event, I really wanted to get at least one of most everything, which I did manage to achieve that. There was some stuff that I just didn't want at all, such as the heartbroken expressions, but most everything else I did get at least one of. I didn't get the matchmaker lunar event stuff because I was focused on getting other items that I really wanted. I think I did pretty good on the matchmakers, honestly. You could tell I went a little bit crazy with the opal salt licks, and that's just because I'm trying really hard to breed for hetero eyes, and once I get them, I want to be able to pass them on a lot easier. I did get a couple rose eye applicators and a couple Hestia marking applicators, but that was my haul for this event. When I got some Twitter painted, I thought that was a fun. And I really like the romantic river walk. The matchmaker's clearing, which we saw in the featured wolf, I do like that one. That was the first time I saw that background on that featured wolf, and I kind of wish I was able to get one, but I highly doubt I'm going to get 80 love bugs by the end of tonight. Yeah, it's already 3:30 for me, which for me, rollover's at 11, so. And we'll show you what I got. So I got 3 Luxe eye applicators. Now, I've already used 1. So I got 4 from the event, and I've used 1, so I've got 3 left over. I got a Dark Eclipse. I think it was a bug. I don't think those were supposed to be for sale. So I did manage to get 1, and then they disappeared from the shop. I got a Night Glow, as well as a Moon Glow, and then I got 2 Sapphire eye applicators. Now for me, the big ones really were the Luxe and the Sapphire, just so I could create my own G1s with the markings that I want. Oh, I did get some other stuff from the event. I got the Antarctic eclipse, so I got the penguins. I don't think I got the other one. Yeah, I just got the Antarctic eclipse. Okay, I got the eclipse penguin. I did get the eclipse penguin, as well as the looming eclipse. And this was a gift. The solar eclipse gliding fish, that was a gift. It was a really wonderful and amazing gift. But so I did manage to get those from this event, as well as the looming eclipse and eclipse penguin. So that was my haul from these last two events. I think it went really well. I am definitely ready for a break. I did take this last Friday off, so I did miss a day for gathering love bugs, but I was like so ready for a break. And I really hope Wolvden does not add more events than they already have. Like maybe like one, maybe two more events is totally fine, but I personally like having breaks in between events. And I logged into Lioden one day just to kind of check it out, and I made an account. They literally had an event for every single month. So every single day in Lioden, there was an event happening. And I was just like, no, it was immediately just too much. Oh, but look who's going to be level 20, Constellation. You're going to level up there we go. Ooh, she's got 1,005 stats. Go girl. Is her husband level? Yeah, he is level 20. It's interesting that she has 40 some more points than he does. Oh, and then the last thing was, before we do this week in Wolvden and the Acorn Tracker, the last thing was a little bit of a den update. So I do have some wolves that were sent to the freezer. Who did I send? It was my Lux. Not my Lux. My Lynx. My Lynx wolves were sent to the freezer. And they're going to be gone for a month. So they should be back in time for next month's event. We did have a few puppies born. So Typhoon gave us some nice puppies. This one was Quartz with 2 leopard sharks. This one, it looks like a lynx, but it's not. Like, it really does look like it should be a lynx puppy, but it's mineral. They are cute though, but I was thinking about just straight up deleting this one. This baby is Lux with 3 leopard shark markings. So this one's definitely going to be kept for the program. And this is their last puppy that she gave me. Also mineral, but they have 3 leopard shark markings. I think I will just get rid of this one, even though they're adorable. Even though the idea of having a faux lynx is really cute, I am just going to get rid of them. Yeah, because these other 2 will just get raisin chased, because I don't need them for the program. Actually, what's going on with these ones? I have some here that aren't labeled. Hi, you're cute. What's your story? Gravite, Moonlight Pulse, and Iridium Leopard Shark. Who are you? Sapphire with Snow, Whitetail Spots, and BLS. Okay, you can be kept for the program. And what's your story? Oh, they're kind of cute. Sapphire. Oh, the Losna Aurora with BLS. I think they can go to Raisin Chase simply because I have enough Sapphire at this point. How many marks do you have? 6? I'm getting a lot of 6 marked puppies. Okay, so we have this female. She has 1, 5, and 10. And Poseidon has 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So we're looking for puppies that have 6 markings, 8. We're looking for 8 markings from this breeding. You have 3. 1, 2, and 9. And you have 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. This one could be worth keeping just because they have 5 markings and one of them is a 9. Or one of them is a 1, which is really important. So they could actually, I think this one could replace their mother. 1, 5, no, because she has a 10. They do not have a 10. And my boyo does not have 10. Okay, so this mother is not getting replaced yet. However, I think we will keep this puppy for the program. This female has 2, 10, 3, 5, and 9, which means we're looking to gain 10 and 3 from this breeding. So we'll also be looking for an 8 marked puppy out of this. Yeah, because they share 10, they share 5, they share 9, but we're hoping to gain 10 and 3. So yeah, 8. That's the mother. We're looking for 8 markings. I mean, I'll settle for 7 at this point. Why do you have a cooled post? Did that come from your mother? Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he doesn't have slot 1, so I was like, it doesn't matter. So 2, 6, 9, and 10. 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10. Very nice. So this does give me the 3 and the 10 that I needed on one puppy. And they have the 2, 5, 8, and 9. So they got 1 additional marking more than their mother. Do they have the 3? Yeah, they have 3 and 10. So the 3 and 10 is what I'm missing, which is what I needed from their mother. Their mother has 2, 10, 3, 5, and 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they got their mother's markings that I needed as well as additional. So I'm actually going to replace their mother with this puppy. Okay, so she will replace her mother because she has 1 more marking than her mom, and she has the 2 markings that I needed for my stud. Yeah, I'm gonna move Artemis over, and I'm gonna change her eyes to something. I don't know what, but I will change her eyes. So I did decide what I am going to do with her. I'm going to give her a Luxe Eye applicator, and then I'm going to send her off to a Sapphire Eyed stud. Double check the art. Yep. Awesome. All right. And since my current favorite stud is on hiatus, I did find somebody to pair her up with. So I'm going to send all of my Luxe Eyed females over to him because one of them is about to go out of heat. So I do need her to be bred today so I don't miss out on that. And that is Catalyst, I believe, is going to go out of heat today. Yeah, Catalyst is going to go out of heat today, so I need her to be bred as soon as possible. So I'm going to get Artemis, Frozen Beauty, and Catalyst are all going to be bred by this new stud that I found. Hopefully, here's to hoping for some G2 combo babies. Oh yeah, and there's a lot more puppies in the Raisin Chase. This one, I'm still contemplating if I want to keep him or not. He's a titanium with storm eyes, and I just think he is so beautiful. Who's your family? Baron and Cosmos. Oh, see, now that just even more tilts me towards wanting to keep him because Baron is no longer a stud. So literally all of the babies of his that I have are it, even though I already have so many wolves. All right, we're gonna keep him. We're gonna keep him. He's gonna go to the Blizzard Grows. Ooh. Okay, where am I? There we go. Sorry, I buried a bunch of my amusement scraps. Alright, we'll move him. Before we get to this week in Wolvden, here are some of the wolves that I chased this last week. Now it's time for this week on Wolvden. Go to the news section here. Now we're still waiting on their big art update, but that should be coming this coming month here in March. But we have reached the end of the matchmaker. As of the recording of this video, it is still matchmaker, but by the time it's released, it will no longer be matchmaker. And I hope everybody had a wonderful event. I know I did, even though I'm ready for a break. But let's go to the community update. And here is just our standard update. So there is an official raffle, and they do have a lot of the lunar items featured here. So if you didn't get a chance to get these items, you still have a chance to get them now, as well as the ever-present energy and breeding items, which are always greatly appreciated. Oh, they've got a base changer. I'm just noticing this base changer. Like, oh, I go through so many of these. So many. So be sure to get your ticket. I already got mine. And then we have the stud raffle. And I believe the forum to make suggestions is still around. So if you guys have suggestions for studs, be sure to seek that out. But I thought he was very interesting. He's kind of he's very pastel. He's very like somebody took a bunch of pastels, put them in a box, shook them around, and then overlaid like a white border on it. It's very interesting. I've also just found out where to get this background, so I'm going to have to move my wolves again just to go get this background. And I thought he was very beautiful. He's got husky eyes, acid base, which is one of the new combos. He has a few argent colored markings, including the Arapawa coat, argent underfur, argent soy unders, and then he's got some chipmunk. But those are just white. And he wanted food, so be sure to give him and his pack some food to munch on. Currently no new pulls, but there are some bug fixes here. So one bug is lunar cave mouth not appearing in wardrobe, and then cave mouth lunar decor does not show up in equip or wardrobe. So I did get those fixed, which is really awesome. Love to see some fixes happening. I think I did notice another bug. Let me see if I still have any of the recipes, but if we come down here to the raccoon and we go recipe, we can see that I have canyon ruby spot. I think it's still hidden behind my head. Hold on, there we go. Canyon ruby spot, elk ear, mushroom path, and Siskiyou iris. So I'm just gonna sell those because, yeah, we'll sell those. But if I go back to my hoard recipe, leather straps wasn't appearing to sell at the raccoon. Now, selling it at the raccoon probably isn't the greatest idea, just because it's an incredibly rare recipe. You can only get it during the 1 month that the event is live. They're selling for like 5 to 10 gold a piece, but it's not available to sell at the raccoon, which I think is a bug. The Acorn Tracker. This is like the one thing I do consistently. This is like, it is like, you know, if even schoolwork, I wasn't this consistent on. Oh, there's acorns to track. Look at all the acorns. Oh, well, you can't see all of them. Look at that. There's acorns to track. No more red bar of doom. So it looks like we have a high of 125 and a low of 50. There is an acorns here. I think it's 2 acorns and 100 silver, and you could buy it for 1,000. So 2 acorns for 900, so 450 per acorn, I guess. But we're just gonna stick to the individual. I mean, we could do 450, but I don't think my tracker has space for that anymore. But we'll do a high of 125 and a low of 50. I can't believe we're on week 6 of the Acorn Tracker. Going up to 125, so between thereabouts. And then the last one was 50. So 50 is actually all the way down here. If we put the ball there and we move it over. Close enough. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes from here now that the event is over, because matchmakers did take a lot of acorns. It was the easiest to use, honestly. Like, you know, when you trying to romance one of these NPCs and it's like it wants amusement, you just give it an acorn or a blue jay feather. And we're not tracking blue jay feather, so I have no idea the value of those items or where they all went, but we do know the acorn just kind of like literally there was nothing for sale on week 5. But that is this week's video. Nothing too exciting, just kind of a lot of who's going to be the next leader drama. So feel free to tell me your 2 cents. But who do you think should be the next lead? Borealis, Snowberry, Evangeline. Yeah, those are the 3 choices we decided on. Evangeline, Snowberry, and Borealis. But we did kind of come up with a little bit of a plan. Looked at my haul for the events. I got quite a lot of things. I hope you guys had some good lunar and matchmaker events as well. Did a little bit of organizing in the den. Saw a lot of new puppies that were born. Talked about this week in Wolvden, and finally updated the Acorn Tracker. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you for hanging out. And until next time, have a positive day, everybody. Bye-bye.